It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM. My name is Stuart Walter, and this morning I'm joined by Mayor Dennis Fenske.
Good morning.
We also like to say a special welcome back to Paul, who's been on vacation, so we're back on Shaw. Let's start off by talking about the few things we didn't get to last week on the City Council agenda. I talked to Councillor Foley before the meeting, and he said this is probably his favorite part of being a councillor, and you've said this a few times now. It's one of your favorite jobs as mayor, is when you get to recognize people and give them certificates of achievement, and 3 were handed out at council last week.
Yes, so there were basically 3 awards. One that I want to recognize is Brianna Paggy. She's a young Indigenous girl that competed in the Indigenous Games in Toronto, first time at that level, and she took home a gold in the high jump. It's quite an experience, as she said at the meeting. Not only the event, but the traveling from northern Manitoba to Toronto to compete, meeting the other kids. The whole event and atmosphere is phenomenal for sure. And then secondly, we presented certificates to the Thompson Citywide Credit Union in regards to their social responsibility program that they have running. So congrats to them. And also certificate of appreciation to Best Western Hotel for, again, by TripAdvisor being recognized as one of the top accommodations in Thompson for their hospitality. And so congrats to those guys as well.
And it's always nice to have moments like that at city council meetings, especially when they can turn into heated debates later on, as it did right after that.
Yes.
Now, something else that was on the agenda, you got some letters from Minister Eileen Clark. Now, they were housekeeping. The first one was to do with the $400,000, which is going towards the Selkirk Road improvements. Could you talk about the other 2 ones, what the money is going towards and what the letters are with regards to?
So basically the public safety grant in regards to our public safety operations. And again, as you said, this is the normal letters we get from ministers for approved grants that go through the province of Manitoba. And the second one was for the multi-use path project, which is at the corner of Princeton and Mystery Lake Road, going north along Princeton Drive, extending the multi-use path as we go and complete the multi-use paths in increments each year. So that's just a formal notification of the grants that we've been receiving.
And the final thing to touch on from the last city council meeting, there are going to be some mobile homes that are going to be demolished in the Burntwood Trailer Court. Could you talk about why they're being demolished and how the city plans to recoup the money from that, as Gary Sabatelli spoke to in the meeting?
Sure. A couple of reasons they'll be demolished. One, in the case of fire and abandonment, and the other is just people that have abandoned the trailers themselves, and they've become in a derelict situation and dangerous to the public. And so we've awarded a contract, went through the bidding process. We've awarded a contract. The company will be up next week, I believe, to start demolishing the trailers. And what happens is the cost that we incur for the demolishment will be added to the price of the land or the lot when it's resold.
Moving on, there's an event happening on Saturday at the cemetery. Could you talk a bit about that?
Sure, that's this Saturday at 2 o'clock at the Thompson Cemetery, which is located north of the Burntwood Ridge River on Highway 391. There's a right-hand turn as you just get over the bridge, probably half a kilometer down the road. That's the existing and the original Thompson Cemetery. And I'm not sure if celebration is the right word, but it was established 50 years ago, so that's why we're having the event. There's been a lot of work done by the committee that have a lot of public members on it, as well as staff from the rec department, in restoring the cemetery to what we would like it to be in regards to a safe, quiet place to reflect on those loved ones that you've lost. And so we're inviting everybody out 2 o'clock on Saturday to come have a walk around the cemetery and pay respects to those who have gone before us and take a look at the improvements that have been done.
And then just if you want more information, you can take a look at the City of Thompson Facebook page. I believe there's even a number to call if you need a ride out there.
Correct.
So another event that's coming up, that's a big one, is the Health and Leisure Mart. For those who may be new to Thompson, what is it?
Well, if you're new to Thompson, this is the event to attend at the VRCC, the Valley Regional Community Center, where basically all of the organizations in town, sports, recreation, arts, music, health, everything, are starting off their year. So they're taking registrations or putting out awareness of who they are, where they meet, and what activities you can get involved with. So if you're a newcomer to Thompson, this is the best way to, one, introduce yourself to the community, meet people, and see what activities you or your kids could be involved with. And if you're old hat to this, come early, because lineups in the key areas of, for instance, minor hockey and ringette and figure skating and other sports like that are usually quite long, and it takes some time to do the registration form, so get down there early, and it's on Friday evening and Saturday, September 9th and 10th, I believe are the dates. And again, it's at the VRCC, is the Valley Regional Community Center, and again, it's a great place to meet people if you're new to the community, and a great time to reacquaint yourselves to others after the long summer.
Moving right along, construction season is still fully going here in Thompson. Could you give some updates on the various projects?
Sure. The wastewater treatment plant, the ongoing construction, this is to be completed by the fall of 2019. So right now they're doing foundation work, and that continues. That's the big yellow crane that you see in the skyline. So that's continuing work. Selkirk Avenue, right now the construction crews are replacing the paving stone sidewalks and finishing off the curbs in the area. The paving crew was to start this week. They've been delayed with work down south. Unfortunately, we are at the whim of the construction season and the amount of work that they have to do in southern Manitoba. So they will be here on Tuesday, September 5th. Take about 10 days to do all the paving that's been set up for. Thirdly, line painting. Again, there was an equipment malfunction in the line painters. They were supposed to be here on Tuesday. They had to replace a computer chip in regards to the equipment, and so they will be painting this Saturday on the 26th.
And so will that be the entire town then in one day?
It should be 1 to 2 days, yes.
And then I believe you have something else you wanted to talk about there.
Yeah, just a reminder, and I'm sure the kids don't want to hear it, but school is fast approaching, and parents are probably jumping for joy after the September long weekend. But just a reminder that the school zone speed zones are in effect from September 1st to June 30th. It's 30 kilometers in all school zones except Thompson Drive in front of the Artie Parker Collegiate. So just a reminder that is in effect September 1st, which is prior to the opening of school, but it is September 1st to June 30th. And so to educate drivers to, one, respect the speed limit, but also to be aware of, as we get in closer to that time frame when the kids are back to school, there will be an increased pedestrian traffic, and make sure that you're make yourself aware of what's around you as you're driving through the school zones.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning, Mayor Fenske.
Thank you.
If you have any questions you'd like answered next week, email them in advance to CHTMnews@arcticradio.ca. For City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at 11:30.